I couldn't believe what was happening when Karen called 911 on me in broad daylight inside my own store. My heart pounded heavily as the sirens approached the parking lot outside the hardware shop. I am Jerry, the owner of this suburban store that I had poured my savings into for years. Lately, profits had been dropping like a rock and nasty customer reviews kept piling up online. Suspecting something rotten inside, I decided to go undercover as a new hire named Bob. With a cheap baseball cap, fake glasses, and a plain shirt, I blended right in with the staff. Karen had been the manager for years, and she ran the place like her personal little kingdom. She treated every rule as sacred and every employee as her loyal subject to control. From my very first shift, she was already breathing down my neck about every single detail. "You stack those paint cans wrong, Bob, and customers will complain again," she barked sharply. I nodded politely while my fists clenched tightly at my sides in silent frustration. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, mixing with the sharp smell of fresh lumber and paint. Her shrill voice cut through the store like a siren that never quite shut off. This was only the start of her power trip that would soon turn my world upside down. Days dragged on, and her ridiculous made-up policies got more controlling by the hour. She demanded exact break times down to the minute and banned personal phones entirely. I watched her gossip loudly in the break room about the lazy invisible owner who never showed up. Little did she know that invisible owner was standing right there pretending to sweep the floor. The tension built slowly like a storm cloud gathering over the suburban parking lot outside. She started spreading whispers that the new guy Bob might be stealing small tools on the side. Other employees began avoiding me in the aisles, their eyes full of suspicion and doubt. I kept my cool and started secretly recording every nasty comment with my phone in my pocket. One afternoon, I caught her slipping cash from the register straight into her own purse. My stomach twisted in disgust, but I stayed silent, filming every second of her little scheme. The betrayal burned hot inside me as customers browsed, unaware of the theft happening nearby. Karen noticed me watching and spun around with pure venom flashing in her narrowed eyes. "What are you staring at, Bob? Mind your own business, or you are out of here," she snapped. I replied calmly with just a hint of sarcasm dripping from my steady voice. "Interesting rules you have here. I thought the owner paid all the bills around this place." Her face flushed red as she realized the new guy was not as dumb as she assumed. Things escalated fast when she publicly accused me of theft right in front of shocked customers. She grabbed the store phone and dialed 911, claiming I was a suspicious shoplifter in disguise. "You think you can rob us on my watch? Not today," she yelled triumphantly across the aisles. The other staff froze and placed their mouths hanging open in the brightly lit store. Sirens wailed louder as the police car pulled up outside the glass front doors. The officers stepped in, looking confused by the dramatic scene unfolding at the checkout counter. Karen pointed at me, dramatically spinning her wild tale of theft and betrayal to the cop. I took a slow, deep breath, feeling the weight of months of lies finally crashing down. Before the officer could cuff me, I pulled out my phone and played the secret recordings. Her stealing cash, her bad-mouthing the owner, and her made-up rules all played out clearly. Her face drained of color as the truth hit her like a hammer in the quiet store. "That's impossible. You are just the new guy," she stammered, her voice cracking in panic. The cop watched the footage, his expression shifting from doubt to clear disbelief. Then I removed my cap and glasses, revealing my true face with a cold, satisfied smile. "Actually, Karen, I am Jerry, the owner you have been trashing for weeks behind my back." The entire store gasped in unison as employees dropped their jaws in stunned silence. Her power trip ended right there in aisle 5, exposed as the real fraud all along. I handed the full evidence over to the police and explained the entire undercover operation calmly. She tried to backpedal with excuses, but the video proof was undeniable and damning. Within the hour, she was escorted out the door, her reign of petty terror finally over. The remaining staff apologized profusely, admitting they had feared her controlling ways too long. From that moment, the store transformed into a better place without her toxic presence looming. Inventory stopped vanishing mysteriously and genuine customer smiles returned to the checkout line. I sat alone in my office later sipping strong coffee and reflecting on the whole chaotic mess. The smell of fresh coffee mixed with the distant hum of the store returning to normal. It felt deeply satisfying to watch justice served in such a sweet, ironic way. Who knew going undercover would expose the real thief wearing the manager name tag all along? Now the neighborhood hardware store thrives again, free from fake rules and small-time tyrants. But the kicker is that power corrupts even in the tiniest of suburban kingdoms like this one. Karen learned that lesson the hard way, all because one boss decided to see the truth himself. I sighed deeply, leaning back in my chair with a quiet smile of hard-won peace. The fluorescent lights no longer felt oppressive and the air smelled cleaner without her shadow. Life moved on smoothly with better hires and honest operations running like they should. Sometimes the biggest shocks come from the people you trust most in your own backyard. And in the end the store became mine again, not just on paper but in every real way. That undercover week taught me more about human nature than any business school ever could. Karen's departure left a void that we filled with fairness and actual teamwork instead. Customers even started noticing the positive change, leaving Kinder reviews online. I never looked back, and neither did the loyal staff who stayed through the storm. The whole ordeal proved that quiet observation beats loud confrontation every single time. Now when I walk the aisles, I feel pride instead of that nagging sense of betrayal. Small powers like hers always crumble when the light of truth finally hits them square. And I sleep better knowing my store runs on honesty, not fear and made-up regulations. The suburban neighborhood feels calmer too, without her drama spilling into the parking lot. Justice porn at its finest, delivered with a smirk and a stack of video evidence. Who would have guessed my own store held such a ridiculous little kingdom inside it? But here we are, thriving, and the only rules now are the ones that actually make sense. I raised my coffee mug in a silent toast to the undercover version of myself. The world outside the store windows looked brighter as the sun set on that crazy day. In the quiet aftermath, I realized some lessons cost money but deliver priceless satisfaction. Karen's fall was spectacular, and the satisfaction of it all still lingers sweetly. My business is stronger, my staff is happier, and the drama is finally ancient history. That is the real shock that made every tense undercover moment completely worth it.